Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here again. So glad to be able to stand before you in this beautiful sun. You can't see it, but it's there. That's why I got on these sunglasses to have this opportunity to stand and share with you what I've been given. You know, I've been constantly seeking as the earth is sucking and sucking. And when I say sucking, I'm talking about water that's falling upon it. And if you could see it right there, they got the hydrants on. And the grass, the ground is being fed. This is what I come to do for you today, ladies and gentlemen. To be to you as the earth, as the water is to the earth. Please receive this message. Today I was awakened by a social media post. And what I heard was this word, some program called, what's this lady's name? Final Word. I don't know if that's the name of the program or not, but you know what I'm talking about. The person that was being interviewed was Mary Trump. And this was her second release of a book relative to the last one that she released about her uncle, Donald Trump, president, ex-president, was president, now ex-president. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it was an inspiration to me. Why was it an inspiration to me? Because she confirmed basically everything that I've been sharing with the public. She confirmed it. She totally confirmed it. And that was good enough for me. So what I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, how does that connect with what I'm trying to get to you this day? This is what I'm trying to get to you this day, is this. As she stated, that this is a white man's country, has always been, and they're going to do everything they possibly can to make it stay that way. Even from the point of slavery. And even when she went to the point of talking about the electoral college, how it's designed, you see the purpose. You see what it does, especially since had a chance to really implement its powers over the past few years. What happened? In the 2000s, the public says, we want this man to be our leader. The electoral college says, well, we want this. And who was it? It was a Republican. In 2016, the American public says, we want this lady to be our representative. But what did the electoral college say? We want this man, a Republican. Then you get the states doing the same operations, implementing the same plan, and getting the power. Then they go and cut out the voters that they want to serve and get them on their side to support their agenda. And I heard somebody say, this seems to be foreign. They thought that the people were supposed to choose their leaders, not the leaders choose their voters. Well, I don't need to deal with that anymore. You know where I'm going with that. We have a society that is reflective of results. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on the other hand, I'm going to step in a little place that she didn't go. I'm going to go with the moral issue. Most of you believe in a Bible that talks about morality. And you have interpreted that Bible just the way we live today here in America. We've justified everything, every evil act that happens here in America, every evil act that happens anywhere on earth. It has been justified by the Bible. At the same time, ladies and gentlemen, it's been defeated by the Bible. At the same time, it's been defeated by the Bible. So what do you got? You got something. This is right and this is right. This is right and this is right. There's something wrong with that picture. How does it happen like that? Well, I think you know. You got a story in that book that says there were some slaves down in Egypt land. So they gave the impression that the Egyptians were as representative of the white people. You know, the power ones in America. That's what we know in America. Now, in other lands, I'm sure wherever you come from, Africa, wherever, you got your leaders. They're represented by the same indulgences. So here we are in the midst of this. They're being represented as. And who goes down? Someone from amongst them, someone in their midst. But this one in the story, did he stop and try to find a way for them, the Hebrew children, to fit in? Did he try to find a way for them to get their set of housing? Did he try to find a way to get their education and health care? Well, I don't know. But the story says he called them out to separate them. In other words, this represented all of the ugliness that you can get from a society as the world is today. The most ugliness you can get from a society until we go a little deeper. And that's where we're going every day. But here's what it's represented. You take it, extract this from it, and then you go where you call a place called the Promised Land. A Promised Land, ladies and gentlemen. What is the Promised Land? A Promised Land is the heaven. That's what the Promised Land is, heaven. So Moses take them out in a place they labeled as the wilderness. Out in the middle of the wilderness, talking about paradise, talking about heaven, talking about promised land. And while I guess people are waiting for the miracles to occur, the attitudes that had been formed in the entire existence of these Hebrew people in Egypt land, it came forth. And they started repeating, replicating the things that were actually them, their character. This is what they had been doing all their lives. They didn't know anything different. And since what they were trying to do didn't happen magically and they didn't understand what to do, they just returned to what they did know. And when someone came up with the information that was necessary to resolve this or give some understanding, he came back and found out the hell had broken loose. Is that the same thing that happens here today, ladies and gentlemen, all around us? All around us. Nobody is trying to fix the problem. They're just trying to find some way to weave it in, to make it smooth, to say it can operate all right. And since they've been doing it, as Mary Trump says, since the beginning of this time, since they've been doing that since the beginning of this time, we have not gone anywhere on the positive left. All we've done is gone down. Down to the point that right now, when you can know the things that are being presented to you are erroneous. You know they're wrong. You know they're morally repugnant. You know that. And yet you find 74 million, as she stated, 74 million Americans who choose to go down that road than any other road. And it goes right back to how can that happen when you got what held up in America. Something stuck me in my hand. I don't know what it's trying to, a piece of little wire or something. Trying to convince America, the rest of America, that it's the way to go. Still lying, not worrying about the truth. People jumping on the bandwagon. In the wilderness, didn't understand. In the churches, don't have the truth, don't know the message. You got people walking around with books and Bibles in their hands, calling themselves men of God. They are not men of God. They are men of the nation. They are men of evil. That might not be their intent, but they are allowed to continue to exist because they are men of evil. They don't know it. If they were in an earthly good for God, they'd be gone. It would not be allowed to exist. That's why they walk around with all of your money as they tell you to pray. And you put them in the highest order with all of the demons. They are riding right up there with them, just like them. And you're saying, That's my man of God. You got to be out of your mind while you around there can't pay your bills, can't even get your kids into school, can't even buy them clothes, can't even feed them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, men walking around with a book in their hand, they're doing it because, and this is, remember this is the evidence that they know nothing about God. And every last one of them will start talking to you, and then when you got a question, they'll say, my Bible says, see what I'm telling you? Ask them something about their mother, if she raised them. Ask them something about their father, if he raised them. Ask them something about their parents, if they were raised by their parents. Do you think they need a book? Do you think they need to go and pull out some manual just to refresh themselves? To see if they're saying it the same way someone else, another sibling is saying it? No, two siblings, they can see things differently. That still represents their parent. And each one is good. And there's no big dispute about it. Why? Because you got the same objective, you got the same goal, and you know the responsibility that each of you hold. That's why when you drive in your lane, and everybody's happy. So I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen, all of this stuff exists because you have not known the truth. Now, I want to say this as basically as I possibly can, because I really believe that each of you were designed in such a way that you wanted to live in peace. I don't care where in the world you live. You want to be in peace. You don't want to have to worry about threats and turning your back, covering your purse. You don't want to have to worry about that. Not only that, you want to live and be free. Free, my friends. No one knocking you. You're no threat to anyone. No one's a threat to you. Free. Be prosperous. The things that you've been given to do, you give it, and you see it in return. Yes, my friends, you want to live a joyous, happy life. Happy, joyous life, making it worthwhile. Great. It's like the sun shining. It's even like on a snowy day, you can still feel great. And basically, the thing to make sure that this is solidly, you are all concerned about the same things, because the same things, they are coming amongst you all. And what is that? That is survival. The littlest creature, that anything that got life in his body wants to survive. And that includes human beings. And we've lived long enough to see that some of the things that are essential as far as having an okay life is coming amongst us, like food and clothing and shelter. Who got a problem with eating? Who got a problem with a home? Anybody? Not only that, you know the benefits of education. Everybody wants to be educated, and they want the best education. What is the best education? The education that serves the purpose for which you came into the society. The purpose for your living. That's the education that you absorb. That's the education that allows you to be the best you can be. That is the education that guarantees us the best as people, as humanity. Yes, my friends. Not only that, everybody, especially living in the world today, we know the threat of sicknesses and diseases. But now to be able to focus, to be able to care, to be able to dare, to be able to say, I will, and go out there and say, we're going to fix this and it's going to be over. Who, my friends, would be against that? Now, having this and the avenues to be able to be who you are, right in the moment, all the time. And now we've connected with the design. And that, my friends, allows the earth to exist, the grass to grow, the trees, the flowers, all of the things that the earth produces. It allows it to happen because it's unity. It's working together for the common good for which it was created. And this is what I've offered to you, the people, that Mrs. Mary Trump has just, through her book, said that in America, which is representative of the world, is going through the things that we go through because we've always lived a lie. Always lived a lie. We as people have always lived a lie, and the politicians haven't been able to convince us to do anything but to keep on that line. And the churches, the same. And the evidence of it is what was implemented when George Floyd was murdered. and the Senate refusing to fire your president of evil when you, the people, had said you don't want to have anything to do with him. They kept him in. Why? Because of the world we live in. So, ladies and gentlemen, when I talk to you, I'm talking about change. I'm not talking about going anywhere. See, when they went out in the wilderness, they didn't know they were supposed to create heaven. That's what they wanted. Then you live like that's what you want. That's what you create. But here, we're talking about going someplace to heaven. That's the old lie. If you wanted heaven, you'd be doing everything you possibly could right now to create heaven. You wouldn't be waiting to go there. You're saying you're here now, and now is the time to care. And that's what you'd be doing. So stop lying talking about you're a Christian. Stop lying talking about you're connected to God. Face the truth. You telling Donald Trump to face the truth. Stop being a narcissist. You're asking them to stop. You stop. You're just as fake as a $3 bill. I guarantee you won't buy you a cup of coffee. Now, I told you that. Don't get mad with me. Don't get angry with me. Get angry with yourself. Accept this as this earth right out here in this part is receiving this water that's coming up through some pipes to feed the earth that the grass might stay green and beautiful. Eat it, ladies and gentlemen. The next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.